Welcome back, Swifties. Today, continuing on this journey, I'm checking out The Smallest Man Who Ever Lived. Now, this is a tune off the new record, isn't it? And I really like the sound of a lot of what I've heard from the later Taylor stuff. And this is, it's a good title, isn't it, for a start? This is about the chap out of the 1975. Something Healy, is it? I know his dad is Tim Healy, who's an actor who I know from a great show called Auf Wiedersehen Pet from, I guess, the 80s, and then early 2000s there was another season or two about a group of builders that go to Germany to, to build, after the wall came down and all that. But anyway, let's get into this.
Was any of it true? Gazing at me starry-eyed in your Jehovah's Witness suit. Who the fuck was that guy? You tried to buy some pills from a friend of friends of mine.
I like the video for a start. The redactedness is a good idea, isn't it? And I don't know much about. It's Matt Healy, isn't it? That's his name. I don't know much about him, but he's sufficiently famous and well known enough, I suppose, is that I can picture him in that suit, right? It must be, unless I'm imagining it, but that's what the line's about, right? Yeah, nice stuff. And yeah, okay. So there's some kind of betrayal or change in him that's on the way, right? In this story.
From a friend of friends of mine, they just ghosted you. Now you know what it feels like, and I don't even want you back, I just want to know if rusting my sparkling summer was the goal. And I don't miss what we had, but could someone give a message to the smallest man who ever lived? You hung me on your wall.
I didn't want to be pausing too much talking about all this, but there's some. I kind of like this setup of video as well. Like I said, the redactedness, but it gives you a chance to appreciate the whole verse in context, doesn't it? Rather than just showing one line at a time, which is great, I suppose, for first-time listeners and especially reactors. Yeah, I don't even want you back. I just want to know if rusting my sparkling summer was the goal. That's interesting, So I guess she's calling into question if he's, what would that be? Psychopathic, sociopathic, or maybe just a C-U-N-T, And I'm interested now to find out what the message is.
You hung me on your wall, stabbed me with your push pins, in public showed me off, then sank in stoned oblivion.
Listen to the voodoo now.
Once your queen had come, you treat her like an also-ran. You didn't measure up in any measure of a man.
So he just wanted to get into her pants, right? That's what it was, and then he lost the interest. He's one of those dudes. Got it. He didn't measure up in any measure of a man. Maybe he wasn't that great in the sack either then.
And I don't even want you back, I just want to know if rusting my sparkling summer was the goal. And I don't miss what we had, but could someone give a message to the smallest man who ever lived? Were you sent by someone who wanted me dead? Did you sleep with a gun underneath our bed? Were you writing a book? Were you asleep or set a spy? In 50 years will all this be declassified?
I love the change and the uplift, you know, and the ominous, you know, stabbing of the piano, which I've mentioned in another reaction recently to something. I can't remember which one it was. The high-pitched single notes, stabbing. They elicit certain emotions, don't they? And this is more lower down the piano, and yeah, I don't even know what emotion it's eliciting. But this lyric, for a lyric video, this is really cool, isn't it? And I suppose this is like the paranoia that someone like Taylor must feel, given her level of fame, a level of success and notoriety. You know, do people want something, whether that's friends or lovers or whatever it is? But on the same level, I guess just your average person. You know, are people after sex, money, revenge? So I suppose that's why maybe a lot of you guys can relate to this sort of stuff. And you know, is it paranoia? If it's true, you know, I'm going to take it back to the start of that chorus. It was good. I like how there was as well. The other thing I like about this is you kind of had the verse and then, well, what I would call the bridge. What would you call pre-chorus, I guess? So verse, pre-chorus, then verse, pre-chorus, you know, and on the end of each one was, and I don't miss what we had, but could someone give a message to the smallest man that ever lived? But then you have to wait for the next verse and the next pre-chorus before what I assume is, well, that's the message, isn't it? I guess all those questions that she has. And I like that sort of that device in songs of like delayed gratification, and for me it could have even gone longer, you know, maybe like 3 verses, 4 verses in before you get to that big lift. There's a great one of my favourite sort of examples of that is which isn't lyrically maybe the same, but I Am the Resurrection by the Stone Roses. It's just verse, and then it kind of builds at the end of the verse, and you think it's going into the chorus. You know, I don't know if anyone's familiar with that song. I'm sure some of you are. And then just as you think it's going to kick in, and it gets bigger and bigger, and it's going to kick into the chorus, it just drops back down to the verse again. You know, down, down, you bring me down, and then it does that a few times, and then finally, what seems like, you know, I don't even know how long it is to the song, you know. But at the end, you get the release of the "I am the resurrection and I am the light," and it's just a glorious like delay of gratification, and it's just a beautiful device to use in a song. But anyway, let's get back into the chorus of this one.
A message to the smallest man who ever lived. Were you sent by someone who wanted me dead? Did you sleep with a gun under
It's even, I guess, yeah. Will it, in 50 years will all this be declassified? And I don't think it's, maybe it's a stretch for it to be Matt Healy, but it's not out of the realms of possibility for someone in her position that she's going to be monitored in some way by powerful people, or powerful entities, because she wields such enormous influence, over an enormous amount of people. So, maybe she's not seen as a threat or a danger in the same way as somebody like, somebody who's politically active might be, your John Lennons or whoever else. But nevertheless, I'm sure, yeah, well, it's obvious these thoughts, they're not out of the realms of, they're not crazy thoughts, are they?
And I'll say good riddance, 'cause it wasn't sexy once, it wasn't forbidden. I would have died for your sins, instead I just died inside. And you deserve prison, but you won't get time. You'll slide into inboxes and slip through the bars. You crashed my party and you're...
I like those backing vocals that came in then, those R's, that was a nice thing. But I mean, some of these lyrics are pretty heavy, aren't they? Some heavy accusations going on.
And I'll say good riddance, 'cause it wasn't sexy once, it wasn't forbidden.
So it wasn't sexy once, it wasn't forbidden. So is that from Taylor's point of view then? Like it was what was he seeing somebody else? So are there some? If that's are there some moral ambiguities on both sides here? Because she's saying good riddance, it wasn't sexy.
And I'll say good riddance, 'cause it wasn't sexy once, it wasn't forbidden. I would have died for your sins, instead I just died inside. And you deserve prison, but you won't get time. You'll slide into inboxes and slip through the bars. You crashed my party and your rental car. You said normal girls were boring, but you were gone by the morning. You kicked out the stage lights, but you're still performing. And
That's a good line, isn't it? You kicked out the stage lights, but you're still performing. Yeah, I do enjoy some of it. So I'm enjoying some of her storytelling. Did he crash his rental car for real?
he said normal girls were boring, but you were gone by the morning. You kicked out the stage lights, but you're still performing. And in plain sight you hid, but you are what you did. And
Yeah. Good. That's a good line as well. You are what you did, and in plain sight you hid. You are what you did. Yeah, actions speak louder than words, don't they? Good stuff.
I'll forget you, but I'll never forgive the smallest man who ever lived.
Yeah, cool stuff, man. That was a nice reversal there at the end as well, wasn't it? I'll forget you, but I'll never forgive. Because I guess the usual thing is, forgive but don't forget. So that's like a heat of the moment thing, isn't it? I would assume, because well, I don't know. I guess I can't presume to know what Taylor is like or what she thinks. or even what is right and wrong. Is it should you be forgiving Ken in any circumstance? Is that too much to ask? Sometimes I suppose it's very individual to the person, isn't it? And I don't think there's a right or a wrong, is there? And forgetting. Well, I suppose I'm just thinking of the Jesus thing now. Is it forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do? Maybe some people do know what they do, though. So forgiveness is an interesting idea or thought, I suppose, isn't it? I suppose if you're holding on to some grudges or judgments or anything, then and if it's not doing you good, if it's affecting your health, then maybe it's better to forgive. Maybe it's better to let it go, which I guess that's what she's saying, isn't it? By forgetting, I'm going to forget you, but I'm not going to forgive. Oh man, just the human experience is complex and wonderful, isn't it? The good, the bad. It's just all so interesting to experience, and to live like this. What a glorious opportunity we've got to experience things, to experience life and love and even the sad emotions, the things. There are lessons, aren't they? Valuable lessons to be learned from the tough times, also, which are very important. So I guess the thought I would finish on is, whether you've been betrayed or hurt or whatever it is, be wise. Try not to be gullible in the future, and all that sort of stuff, naive or whatever you feel has caused those things, but always be brave enough for love, to give it another go, and be open. Look out for the warning signs, but be open to it. Take care of yourselves. Have an awesome week. I'll see you soon.